Now we're ready to get started. All we need today is a few weights. If you have a light and a heavy, we do have use for both today. If not, you are good to go. We're going to start with just bringing a little movement in, loosening up, checking in, seeing how we're feeling this morning. Especially if you're somewhere cold, you got to really check in, make sure you're ready. If everything's feeling good, start turning a little further, lift those heels. Maybe let your arms fly up a little higher. Maybe go a little faster. Warm up those muscles before we start working them. One more to each side. And then coming back to center, go straight into your high knee march. Swinging your arms, still keeping the whole body moving. Beautiful. If you're joining us on YouTube, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And make sure you ring that little bell so you get notified whenever we put up a new video. Maybe even drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from and what exercises you might like to see included. One more for each knee. And then coming into your big hip circles in one direction. And then going the other way. And then bringing everything back into center, take one hand and reach all the way down to the opposite foot, and then switch sides. Make those big arm swings. So you're warming up your shoulders, as well as your back and your legs. One more to each side. And then coming back up, wiggle out those fingers and toes. And then we are ready. So we're going to focus on lower body today. Don't worry, upper body will be included too, but every exercise is going to hit some part of our lower body. We're going to start with dumbbell swings. So grab a weight, grab a kettlebell if you have one. You're going to have your feet nice and wide, and you're just bringing it up, swinging it down between your legs. Just grab one if you have heavier weights. If you want to have, if you only have lighter weights, you might want to do two, one in each hand, in which case you'll swing them out to the side instead of between your legs. All right, 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Bending those knees nice and big. Looking through your back body. Pushing down through your heels. This one is a full body exercise, but the more you push down into your heels, the more lower body engagement you have as you drive up. Over halfway there, keep it up. Beautiful, looking good. Almost there. And time. Excellent. Take a moment, shrug out those shoulders, and then we're going to do a pick up and put down. There's fancy names for it, but we don't need all those. So you're going to have your feet nice and wide, have a heavy weight right in the middle. You're going to reach down, pick it up, put it back down, and then grab it with the other hand. Now, to add in our lower body, not that we're not getting enough there, but as you stand back up empty hand, throw in a little butt kick. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful. One side and then the other. I like to do the kick with whichever leg matches the hand I just used. But you can do whichever one you want. I don't care. Over halfway there. Nice big squats. Might be breathing a little hard. That's okay. Just keep going. Only 5 more seconds. And time. Beautiful. All right. Take a second, take a nice deep breath. Let it all out nice and big. Because up next, we're gonna do standing pass-throughs. You might wanna grab your lighter weight for this, or you might wanna go heavy, up to you. But you're gonna stand up nice and tall, weight in one hand. Lift a leg up, pass it under, and then go the other way. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Picking that leg up as high as you can. How high is that? I don't care. However high works for you. Everybody is built a little differently. So you gotta find what works for you in your body. Breathing. More than halfway there already, only 20 seconds to go. Make sure you hold on to those weights with that pass through, because I promise you don't want to drop them on your toes. And time. Beautiful. Now, next one is going to be more upper body focused. We're going to grab a weight, feet nice and centered. You're going to do a front raise all the way up overhead into a tricep extension. And then while it's there, throw in a calf raise. Come all the way back down, do another calf raise. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. So calf raise at the top and calf raise at the bottom. This is another great one to use a kettlebell if you have one. And of course, make sure you keep breathing. Nice and steady, you got this. Almost there. And time. Nice job. Set that weight down for just a moment. Shake everything out. And then up next, we are gonna do 30 seconds on each side for a weighted side crunch. Grab the weight that's right for you. You're gonna hold it out to the side and you're just doing 30 seconds on each leg. Here we go. Try to keep that nice 90-degree angle, even as you're crunching. Let your side body do the work there. Getting a lot of lower body engagement, especially through that hip. 5 seconds left on this side. And switch sides. Beautiful. You guys look fantastic. Got that nice cactus arm. Almost there. And time. Nice job. All right, next up, we're gonna set the weights all the way down. We're gonna do 30 seconds on each side again, but we're gonna do 3-way leg raises. So you're gonna go front, side, back, side, front. That same pattern, 30 seconds, and then we'll switch. And go. Front, side, back, side, and then start it over. Now, if you want to add a little challenge, try to do it without putting your foot down. Really ups the work on the other side. And of course, if you have to set it down, no worries. Switching sides in 3, 2, 1, switch sides. Keep breathing. As we know, exercise, like everything else, is easier when you're breathing. Five more seconds. Time. Fantastic work. Go grab some water. Make sure you're staying hydrated. We still have 2 sets to go. All right, for my second set, I'm gonna demonstrate the exercises seated. You can do them seated or standing, whatever works for you. Go ahead and grab your weight for the dumbbell swings. Now, if you're doing the seated version, you're gonna want 2 so you can swing them out to the side. Otherwise, you're gonna whack your hands on your chair. And we definitely don't want that. 1 minute on the clock, starting now. Now, for the chair version, you're basically doing the same thing, driving into your heels, and then just leaning forward to swing back, and leaning back to swing forward. You can always stop, set those weights down, and readjust. For example, if you're not far enough forward on your chair, you might need to do that. Looking good. Keep it up, guys. 20 seconds to go. Ten more seconds. Don't mind me setting my weights down. My timer has died, and apparently there's some kind of chip shortage, and I can't get a new timer. So I'm having to use my stopwatch. Time. All right, next up, we have our pick it up and put it down. We just need 1 weight for that. Move the other one out to the side if you have 2. And then here we go. Pick it up, put it down. The chair version, you're just gonna lift that leg straight up. The standing version, we were doing those little butt kicks. Working our hamstrings a little. Trying to keep a nice flat back with this one. And that's for the chair version and the standing version. And again, driving down through your heels. Keep going, you got this. Almost there. And time. All right, up next, we have our pass-throughs. Now, if you're doing the standing version, same as last time. If you're doing the seated version, make sure you bring your feet in a little bit. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. You're lifting it up, passing it under. Working the hip flexors. Working the standing leg a little bit for the standing folks. For the seated folks, again, push down into your heel with the leg that's on the floor. Nice, looking good, guys. Keep it going. Make sure you're breathing. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. All right, from here, front raise, tricep extension with the calf raise. So grab the weight that's right for you. We're gonna go calf raise at the bottom, all the way up, calf raise at the top. Let's do it. Key here for the seated version is to bring the knees back out nice and wide as you can, so that you have room for that weight to go all the way down. Seated or standing, check in with your core here. See if you can pull that belly button back towards your spine. Firm everything up so you're keeping your upper body nice and steady. Keep going. 10 more seconds. Time. Beautiful. All right, from here, our weighted side crunch. So grab the weight that's right for you. 30 seconds on the first side. 1 moment. All right, here we go. Chair version is pretty self-explanatory on this one. You're doing exactly the same thing, just seated. Halfway done with this side. Switching sides in now. Switch sides. Here we go. Curling in through that side body. Nice. Ten more seconds. Time. All right, last up is our three-way leg raises. Now these, you do have to modify just a little bit to do seated. So whichever side you're starting with, scoot over to that side of your chair, hold on to the other side, and then we'll do 30 seconds on each leg, starting now. So you go kicking up, kicking out, curl your leg up and kick back. Making sure you're clear of your weights. You might have to move them if you're like me, and you tend to leave them everywhere. And feel free to bend your knee as much as you need to. Switching sides. Now, scooch on over to the other side of that chair. Move more weights if you need to. That might just be me. Make sure you keep that other hand on the chair for support. And if you're standing and you want to put your hand on a wall, you can absolutely do that too. We all need a little support sometimes. Time. That is the end of our second round already. You guys are doing amazing. Go grab some water. We still have one set to go. All right. Coming back in for the kettlebell swings, dumbbell swings, whatever you got, swing it. Seated or standing. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. I like standing better for this exercise for the most part. Seated is very effective. But sometimes I whack my hands on the chair. It's a real danger. So it's one you got to be a little careful with. Halfway there. Check in. Are you driving into your heels? Keeping that back body nice and engaged. If you're not sure, check in and see, do you feel it in your glutes? The more you drive into your heels, the more you're going to activate those glutes. Time. All right. Take a moment, take a deep breath. Let it all out. And then we're going to pick it up and put it down. Seated or standing. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. This is a good time to check in with your core again. You still pulling that belly button back? If you're feeling good there, check in with your breathing and make sure even with your belly firmed up, you're still taking some nice, smooth breaths. They don't have to be super deep right now because you are working pretty hard. You guys keep going. You got this. Ten more seconds. And time. All right. Take another deep breath and let it out nice and big. And then we have that standing pass through. So again, grab the weight that's right for you. Do the seated pass through if you prefer. 1 minute. Here we go. If you feel like you're starting to get a little tired and your grip might slip, slow it down. It's actually going to give you even more work in your muscles to go slow. And that way you're not risking any injuries in your feet. Of course, if you're still feeling good and you want to go a little faster, that's totally up to you. I like to slow it down a bit in my third round, just to make sure I'm using good form and being nice and safe. Because safety is always the most important thing. 10 seconds to go. Time. All right. Up next, we have that front raise into the tricep extension with the calf raise. Once we're all set up, all right, here we go. Checking in again with your core. Are you holding yourself nice and steady? Are you a little weeble wobbly? Might need to go down a little in weight or slow it down. Take your time. Beautiful. Next thing to check is, how are your elbows doing? On our last set, a lot of times they'll flare out. Got to pull them in nice and tight. Almost done. Time. Beautiful. All right, up next we have that weighted side crunch. Again, grabbing the weight that's right for you, seated or standing. 1 minute. Here we go. I actually really prefer the seated version of this exercise because I feel like it gives me good work through my leg. It also helps me really isolate those obliques. And I'm still driving down through the heel on the opposite leg. So I'm keeping that nice and active and engaged the whole time. And still breathing. A lot of things to do at once, I know. Switch sides. Still curling in, trying to keep that 90-degree angle in the arm. Almost there. 5 seconds to go. You can do anything for 5 seconds. Time. Nice job. All right, last up. Our 3-way raises, again, seated or standing. Using some support or not. Let's do it. If you have a chair behind you, you might have to change your position a little bit so you're not kicking the chair. For those of us that like to swap between seated and standing, sometimes it requires a little extra maneuvering. And switch sides. Still breathing. You got this. Last exercise. You're looking fantastic. And you know what? If you're on YouTube watching this and you're like, I don't look fantastic, that's okay. You're still here. As long as you're still going, you're still working. And time. Nice job. All right, grab some water. All we have left is our final stretch. And some little jamming tunes. All right, bringing it in for your final stretch. Feet hip width apart. Take a nice deep breath in, arms up overhead. Fold forward. Let everything relax for a moment. And then come up halfway, nice flat back. We're gonna let those arms swing in small circles in one direction. And then in the other direction. Take a nice deep breath in. And then on your next exhale, sink down again, maybe a little further this time. And then with a big bend in your knees, roll all the way up. And shrug those shoulders up to your ears, and then roll them down and back 3 times. Breathe those arms up overhead again. And fold forward again. And then this time, we're gonna walk our hands over to one side. Maybe bend a knee and push back into that back hip a little. if that feels good in your body. I like a little extra hip stretch, but not everybody does, so do what's right for you. One more moment here. And then walk those hands back to center. Come up halfway, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, sink a little further. And then walk those hands over to the other side. If this is good for you, stop right here. But if you'd like a little more, maybe push into that back hip a little bit. Maybe try bending one knee. Maybe try the other knee. See what feels best in your body. One more breath. And then walk your hands back to center. Bend your knees nice and big. Roll all the way up. And this time we're going to roll our shoulders forward 3 times. Settle those shoulders down and back. Take one arm, bring it across your body. Hug it in. Sink that shoulder down. And then maybe look one direction. Maybe look the other direction. And then come back to center. And release. Go to the other side. Look in one way. Look in the other way. And then back to center and release. Last thing we're gonna do is that nice tricep stretch. Pat yourself on the back. Remind yourself how amazing you did. No matter how many sets you did, no matter how much you worked, you showed up, and that's what matters. One more breath in here. And then exhale and release. And go to the other side. If it feels good, drawing that elbow back towards the wall behind you. And again, just giving yourself that little congratulations on an awesome start to your day, or finish whenever you're doing this, whatever time of day it is for you. And then release. Thank you so much for coming out today. You guys did fantastic. I will see you on Thursday.